Hello guys, welcome to our channel Information with Fun. Today we are going to talk about 7 new upcoming technologies. So let's start. Apple unveils new MacBook Pro and Pro Display XDR. Apple today announces its new MacBook Pro at WWDC 2019. It's the most powerful and most expandable Mac the company has ever made. Alongside that, the company also announced its new Pro Display XDR, a professional grade monitor for HDR and pro grade applications. The new design is more refined, with larger air vents up front that covers the entire surface. The handle and the feet are actually the same steel piping that form the frame of the chassis. To provide access to the internals, the entire body can be removed using a top latch on the top that rotates and lets you pull up the side shell. This gives access to all 4 sides of the body as well as the top. Now let's get into the specs. Starting with the CPU. All model comes with the Intel Xenon W processor. The base model comes with 8-core CPU, but you can configure it with 12-core, 16-core, 24-core and 28-core models as well, all of which support hyper-threading, so you can get twice as many threads as you want. Now let's talk about the price. The new 2019 Mac Pro starts at $5,999 for the base model. The Pro Display XDR is priced at $4,999 with the optional Pro stand cost of $999 and the VESA mount adapter is $199. Both these products will be available by the end of the year. Secondly, Microsoft teases its secret dual-screen Surface device. Microsoft has started to demonstrate new dual-screen Surface hardware inside the company. This dual-screen Surface tablet does not actually exist as a device that you can use. So what the software giant presented was just a video demoing an early version of the device. Most likely, Microsoft only wanted to get feedback on the idea that the dual-screen is based on in order to further refine the project with additional improvement. Centaurus will also be one of the first Windows Lite devices if Microsoft proceeds to launch the device. Microsoft is preparing a new lightweight version of Windows for dual-screen devices and Chromebook competitors, Windows Lite, as it's codenamed internally, is a more stripped-down version of Windows that is initially being prioritized for dual-screen devices like Centaurus. Samsung licenses AMD Radeon graphics technology for smartphones. AMD and Samsung have reached a deal that will bring Radeon graphics solutions to future Samsung mobile devices, including smartphones. This will allow Samsung to integrate custom AMD Radeon graphics IP into future SoCs for more mobile applications. This is rather interesting because historically speaking, Samsung's Exynos SoC has lagged behind Qualcomm's when it comes to the GPU department. However, Samsung's own GPU architecture has been in development for 7 years. That means it's unlikely that the partnership will result in a new architectural IP from AMD being used in Exynos chipsets. As it may sound, Samsung could be throwing away all their work. The deal is a multi-year collaboration, which Samsung hopes will allow them to advance future smartphone productivity and innovation. For AMD, this is a chance to reach a wider audience in the mobile market and expand their Radeon user base and development support globally. Key terms of the partnership includes: first, AMD will license custom graphic IP based on the recently announced high scalable RDNA graphics architecture to the Samsung for the use in mobile devices including smartphones and other products that complement AMD product offerings. Secondly, Samsung will pay AMD technology license fees and royalties. Apple unveils macOS Catalina, retires iTunes. The next iteration of macOS is now official and it's called Catalina. and there will be no iTunes app in it. Instead of Catalina, users will have 3 separate apps: music, podcast and TV, now with 4K HDR and Dolby Atmos support. Other new interesting feature of the new macOS is Sidecar. For the first time, you can see iPad as a second screen. This is great. I mean, look at the number of possibilities. Finally, you can control the entire Mac with just using voice commands. macOS full voice control feature, which will bring its accessibility options to a whole new level. Find My Mac will now call Find My and will help you find your lost or stolen devices even easier. Now it can be done even when the Mac is offline. Now the MacBooks will emit low latency Bluetooth signal, which won't reduce the battery life. Completely anonymously, of course. And the other iDevices will be able to detect it and help the triggered Find My request find your turned off device. Apple went even further, and with Catalina it added activation lock on all T2 enabled devices. With the activation lock turned on, nobody will able to use or install Mac ever until you input your credentials. The biggest update is Project Catalyst. If we believe what Apple says, then you can port iOS iPad apps to Mac OS in a flash. iPad got its new OS called iPadOS. Apple promised that new iPadOS will provide unique and most powerful iOS experiences for iPad devices. The iPadOS 13 promises powerful new capabilities tailored specifically for iPad users, including richer multitasking with multi-window support for apps, the ability to switch between multiple apps, and a much improved split view. Also, new iPadOS is redesigned home screen that offers more information at a glance. iCloud Drive now supports SAMBA file sharing. Safari gets a dedicated download manager, around 30 shortcuts. The brand new iOS 13 is here. Along with other improvements, iOS 13 will include its most anticipated feature, the dark mode. Apart from the dark mode, it also introduces the new ways to browse the web, editing photos and organizing feature. The feature that stands out is Sign In with Apple. It won't share the info like Facebook and Google does. If you want to sign in but don't want to share even your mail ID, no issues. Apple will create a random email ID and use that email instead. Apple claims that the new iOS will launch apps twice as fast as the predecessor. Face ID will be 30% fast on the supported devices, and the size of the patches and smaller updates will be 60% smaller. It's good news for everyone who has limited data. The beta is already out today, and iPhone 6s, iPhone 6s Plus, iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone SE, iPhone X, iPhone XR, iPhone XS, iPhone XS Max, and iPod Touch 7th generation will be supported by iOS 13. iPhone 6 has been dropped from iOS 13. Now, news from the Android department. Xiaomi and Oppo teases behind the screen front camera. On its official Twitter handle, Oppo posts the video of what it looks like under the screen selfie camera. The video shows that seems to be a prototype smartphone that has a real all-screen display with no notch, screen cut out, nor a pop-up mechanism on the top. Sometime later, another Chinese company, Xiaomi, also demoed the same tech in the video. With that, you might be wondering where the selfie camera is. And as per videos, it looks like Oppo and Xiaomi has finally figured out how to seamlessly hide the front-facing camera behind the display. Something that a lot manufacturers have been trying to figure out for years. This is definitely a more neat solution to achieve that all-screen designs than the pop-up mechanism, notches and the display cutouts that we saw on a lot of devices today.